Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring a message for the chosen. If you find that this resonates with you in any way, please be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let us know how it resonates with your circumstance. So first of all, chosen, I will say that this message is not for everybody. I do repeat, this message is not for everybody. It's definitely going to shake up the spirits of the sleeper right now. It's going to shake them up. Because what they fail to realize is that all of this time that they have been waiting on the return of a Messiah to come floating from the clouds to save them, they're going to begin to realize very, very soon, if not already, that the Messiah that they have been waiting on is a body of people. It's not just one. The Christ consciousness that they have been waiting on to save them is a body of people, not just one. And it's most definitely not just a masculine energy. This is a body of people who is both divine masculine and feminines, awakened people. There's been a strong attack against anyone who claims to be what we call woke. There's been an agenda to shut down the so-called woke, as if it is offensive to be anything but sleep. What we have to understand is that the story depicted in the biblical text was giving reference to those of you who would eventually awaken from the dead. It was given reference to those of you who would be ostracized, okay? Shunned, sacrificed, abused, spoken ill against, talked about. It would be against those of you where people would say that you were wicked. You were a worshiper of Beelzebub, right? Those of you who would ultimately come into the remembrance that you have gifts and that you are, in fact, a child of the Most High Mother and Father. It would be against those of you who would openly express your position as a child of the Most High Mother and Father and express it with conviction, knowing that it is truth. The biblical text spoke directly about you. This is going to ruffle the feathers of these sleeple and these sheeple, because they're going to come to realize that no, it was you, not the carpenter's son, right? Not the hairstylist, not the one, the bank teller. No, it can't be the Uber driver. No, the manager at McDonald's. No, that you can't be the Messiah. Is no way that you are the one that I've been waiting on. No, not my cousin that, I felt didn't have a voice. Not the one that I teased all the time. Not the one that I've been gossiping about. Ain't no way. Right? This is a hard pill to swallow here in the age of Aquarius. Because people are coming to realize that you are not just anybody. And that you have a divine mission that goes beyond their own understanding. You are the prophetic manifestation of what Christ consciousness would look like. You are Christ consciousness revealed, emerged out of a sleep state, emerged out of the matrix, emerged out of the tomb. See, you were shut out, chosen. They thought they had locked you away for good. They thought they had shut you down and they had crucified you well enough to where you would never remember who you were. Gave you a totally different name, put a different face and a different identity on you, and completely mixed up and confused your position. Fed it to the people ass backwards, y'all, and then had the nerve to turn back around and feed it to you the same way. But you climbed up out of that tomb. I tell you, in that tomb, though, during that time of isolation, in hermit mode is where you found yourself. Away from everybody, away from the conditioning of society, away from the illusions, the trickster spirits. It was you right there in that tomb between yourself and the Most High Mother and Father, being awakened and reminded, DNA being activated, coming into remembrance of the divine power that's within you. But you had to first be removed. You had to first be locked away. You had to first go through the dark night of the soul. And it's sometimes you did look up and say, why me? Right? There were times when you did speak directly to the Most High and say, what is this? Huh? And there was times where you even said, hey, forgive them, for they know not what they do. But you also had to come into the realization that judgment is a gift. Judgment is a gift. You came to the realization that these same beings that discounted you, that discredited you, that spoke ill against you and created a completely different narrative about who you are, now have to recognize that you were the so-called black sheep of the family because you are literally the Messiah that your ancestors have been waiting on. You literally are the Messiah that your ancestors have been waiting on. You are the Messiah that the powers that were tried to eliminate before you could awaken. And so this is why you went through hell and back. This is why you've had near-death experiences. This is why you were told that you was nothing, that you wasn't going to be nothing. This is why you had accomplishments that nobody celebrated. This is why you were always the underdog, unappreciated, undervalued, abused in every which way. But you still rose up, though, chosen. You still came through shining, purified. You purified your vessel. You recognized that a lot of dirt was thrown on you. You recognized that the powers that were wanted you to be the ultimate sacrifice to feed the beast of Babylon and to give them more time. You started to realize that this was far greater than what was told to you. Once you started to really dive deep and remember and tap into those Akashic records and connect to the Most High and your spiritual team, your angels and ancestors, they started to give you those spiritual downloads so that you would recognize that this is far bigger. You started to realize that you are a part of a greater body that's here to restore balance, to restore truth, to restore integrity, to restore love, peace, justice to humanity. And it will require only someone like you, only a seed that can withstand the chaotic energy, only a seed that can withstand the toxicity, only a seed that can withstand the stormy weather. Nothing can shake you. You got firmly rooted exactly where you belong, chosen. And now you've grown. You're no longer beneath the surface, finding your roots in the darkness. No, you found your roots. You're stable and you ain't going nowhere. So now you emerge where people can see you. And you've grown tall. And a lot of people are highly intimidated by this position because to recognize that it was you all of this time puts them to shame. It makes them want to go and hide their face. It makes them want to tuck their tails, right? Because they should have seen the light in you from the very beginning. Not only should they have seen the light, but when the light began to emerge, they should not have used up all of their energy to try to dim that light. Had they recognized the love that was in your heart from the very beginning, they would have valued you. They would have nurtured you. They would have pulled you up when you was when you was at your lowest point. They would have pushed you to become the better version of yourself if they had have known that you would be the one that their entire lineage, I'm talking about your karmic family, has been waiting for. If they would have known who you were, But the question is, would they have done it differently though? Because see, what would emerge, the fact is a lot of them did know. A lot of them did know. When they found out who you were, they did a whole lot of malicious things and nefarious things behind the scenes in hopes that you would not come into full remembrance of who you were. Quite a few of them already knew. They saw the light. They saw the spark. They saw the gifts, and they tried to suppress them. They tried to make you forget them. They tried to scare you in submission. They saw that you was the lion amongst the sheep. They knew it was something different about you. There are particular people who was always surrounding you. These are the gatekeepers. These are the ones who would surround the tomb to make sure that you never, that you never emerged. These would be the ones that wanted to destiny swap because they didn't understand why the Most High would choose you and not them. So rather than accepting the fact that the Most High has the first and final say, and that the Most High never makes any mistakes, the Most High understands what has been created by the hands of the Most High Mother and Father. There's no confusion there. But these karmics did not want to accept that the Most High knew exactly what they were doing when they created you. So all of that opposition and the evil eye and the spell work and the attempts to take you down, the attempts to keep you down and to kick you while you were down and to talk about you while you was down and to mock you and to scoff you and to say that you was everything but a child of the Most High Mother and Father. All of that was an attempt to deter you from your ultimate destiny, which would be to break the curses off of your lineage. That's a big job, y'all. That takes somebody very, very, very powerful. That takes someone who can withstand the heat and the spiritual warfare that's automatically directed towards that person, that chosen, that Christ consciousness, that Messiah who is willing to take on the assignment, the spiritual warfare that begins to come up against the chosen seed is not for the weak. And a lot of these beings, they believe they can do you better than you. They believe that they can take on your specific assignment better than you. Even though you were crafted and molded from the very source of your being, from your soul level. I'm talking about before we even get to the physical matter of who you are. On a soul level, you were crafted and formed for this assignment. You was built for this. These beings do not understand the amount of authority that one has to harness. Especially when you are reared up in this type of society where fear, toxicity, self-loathing, false identities, illusions, all of these things you got to sort through in order to come into the remembrance of this divine assignment. This is not an easy assignment. And if people understood how much work it really requires, they will go sit down and give thanks to the Most High Mother and Father that all they got to do is just do their own internal work and believe and support you, chosen. Give some reverence and honor to you, chosen. Definitely not worshiping, because even in the biblical text, Christ said, you're not to worship me. It's the Most High Mother and Father that you should give your honor and reverence to. But see, society took it and twisted it all up, dismantled it, broke it down, added to it, all for the sake of enhancing their power and prolonging their position and keeping the majority, 99% of the world, in a zombie-like sleep state. But you're here, fully emerged from that tomb that you were shielded and protected in for a prolonged period of time. And now you come forward with some messages now, chosen. You're coming forward with some powerful truths now. And the reason why in the biblical text it says that, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. You know why they gonna bow and confess? It's because they never thought that the same Messiah that would ultimately call judgment upon them would be the same one that they worked against with every fiber of their being, because they could not accept that it would be the carpenter's son, someone so common, right? Someone so meek, someone so weak and passive. At least that's what they wanted to believe about you. This is the biggest truth that's going to shock many. And that's why even in the biblical text, it says you'll be shocked, right? There'll be a shock factor that comes through when they see who the true Messiah is. It's not just one person. This is a body of Christ consciousness, multiple people who have fulfilled the assignment of raising their vibrations, aligning their chakras, coming into remembrance of who they are, accessing their Akashic records, withstanding the storms, and have become a true spiritual warrior. It's those of you who's out there speaking truths and awakening the masses and reminding people of who they are. You are the messiahs that the world has been waiting on. So stand strong and stand firmly in your positions, because the opposition is most definitely coming. And this is going to be one of the hardest pills for these beings to swallow. It's going to be so hard because they really had in their mind, they had a specific image. They had a specific ethnicity in mind. They had a specific way of arrival that would come. It was all just, fed to them ass backwards. So when the truth is revealed, all they can do is weep and hold their head down in shame and in guilt, recognizing that they should have known. Integrity always wins. So even if you don't know something, ignorance is not bliss. Because even if you don't know that same person who is in your life, who could have had very little, right? Could have been through hell and back. They may not have presented themselves in a particular way. To discount that person and assume that they are nothing more than what your natural eyes can conceive of them, and to mistreat them just because they're not able to present a particular thing to you, that is one of the worst things that a person can do, is to count you out, all for the sake of making themselves feel better. So Judgment Day is here. For those beings in the back who thought that Judgment Day was going to look like, a man floating from the sky in a white robe, drenched in blood, and coming with these swords, and, that judgment, you got a whole nother thing coming. Judgment Day happens right now. In the age of I know, the truth is now revealed about the true energy and the essence of these so-called people who have been roaming this earth, posing to be one thing, but behind closed doors are operating from the most violent. This is the wake-up call that is going to shock many. So get ready, y'all. Get ready, because your divine assignment happens right now. Your divine assignment to spread truth happens right now. Your divine assignment to announce yourself and to let the world know who you are and whose you are happens right now. And for those who don't want to receive it or accept it, that's on them. They fall when Babylon falls. And when they try to come and cling to your garment, because now they're afraid, and now they're out here weary, and now they're out here lost, groping in the darkness, because they don't have your light to help guide them through the turmoil and the storms that's coming upon their life as Babylon falls.